We'd like to announce that Goat from Goat Simulator is now a playable character.
Boom! He dropped the bomb already. All right. Well,
Cedric,
welcome,
do you want
ladies
to do
and
those
gentlemen.
animations?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another phenomenal episode of the Imagination Podcast, starring your moderator, Jared Gingrich.
And Johnny Ray once again.
I was gonna try to think of something like really like a nice line to say. I'm just saying. I'll think of it next week.
Who needs a friend? But we got him on this week, guys.
The guy who needs a friend. There we go.
There
we go.
The guy that makes
Am I
Chrome
getting
look
introduced
sexy.
or introduce myself?
You introduce yourself,
Yeah,
bro.
Alright, so my name's Jose Flores. I'm the new sound guy here.
Woo!
Yeah.
Indeed. We're excited to have you on board, my friend.
We're going to see a slap fight pretty soon, guys.
All right.
Just, like,
We get started here. Team, want to detail the latest Indie Assault new gameplay, animation, or any art updates we have?
I'll go first. I blew up Red.
Boom.
I don't really know what happened, but I started playing around with her keys and she detonated on the 3 files that I had for her. So that's bad. That's
Yes.
really bad. But we're working on
Did you just Jeff Goldblum there?
salvaging what we can at least. So she's gonna be better though. Anyway, but
Well, I mean,
Just a
with
little
the
roll
improved Blitz Assault, Johnny wants to know, will her neutral special be revived?
Yeah, because she can't do it in
I
air
say
right now.
no because it looks like she's trying to summon a Power Ranger, but what do you think?
well, I mean I think either if we don't have her do it in the air, because I think we should have some sort of air version.
Yeah,
If we don't do it in the air, we should increase the duration of it on the ground.
Yeah.
Because she needs to be balanced, but I think an air one's reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Well, couldn't she would just play the same animation? Or do you-
No, because
No.
her feet are.
She's like
hammer time type thing.
she's
So,
like standing in, like she's grinding her feet into the ground. It looks super awkward
yeah.
in there. I'd
I'd
kind of like her to just like throw it diagonally down, maybe, because like that's what some of the characters in Smash do, where they have an air version and a ground version where they'll throw it diagonally down.
just give her that Akuma, you know. That's exactly that's like perfect reference. He does that.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
But,
Yeah, well, I think an air one is reasonable, but that's a good idea to have to go diagonal down instead of like straight across, because that's a little.
Yeah.
So, are we changing up for aerials or leaving them as is?
No, they're in my opinion, they're fine. It's not. I don't think that's really a problem for her. She just needs to be tuned and a little bit of change. But I think she can.
Less
function.
heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's unnecessarily heavy.
She's like a submarine inside of like an aquarium. It's like, "Arr."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And for characters, our characters have gotten modeled. We got
Yeah.
a couple of the models that.
Pretty amazing. Did you follow up with the dev for his last email with the revision so we can get her texture?
I still have to do that.
Oh,
come
right
on.
on the
drop
podcast.
the ball on
He's
the
like, "Oh,
podcast.
man, I've been working."
I have
We all have that excuse.
We all have a ton of jobs to support our lifestyles. But yeah, I mean, the next few characters, they look boss. They look so boss. We can't wait to start really like
And
getting into the nitty gritty.
4th and 5th have face textures. I sent him tonight. Okay. I only sent the good
Yeah.
my bad. But they do.
But yeah, so that being said, we are working hard to get you some more stuff to play with. And we're finishing up modeling on one of the stages too, which is pretty nice.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it looks so good. It's probably one of the best looking stages now that we got. Definitely, it's high grade. It's super high grade.
He was kind of confused a little bit about it though. So he was like, "Why did we start that later when he could have been doing that from the get-go?" Like,
Yeah, well, it's like we have these people that we have them doing stuff, and then we don't realize that they're capable of doing something amazing. And then they're just like, "Can I try?" We're like, "Okay, you can try." Oh my god! Why didn't you show us this before? We wouldn't have the sovereign looking like it does.
We're gonna do a lot of testing for water as well.
Yeah,
That is no easy thing to accomplish.
because we're definitely.
Don't forget that's part of the stage.
Yeah, but I don't think we're gonna have the characters swim.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Just die.
Yeah.
Look! Oh!
Yeah, they just-
Instant
Tidus
death.
used to have a swimming animation, but it wasn't up.
Yeah. And I mean,
You just have, it's like a giant shark. Just like,
On that, I gotta interject. We are really excited to announce that Haley's getting a brand new character select item revision that Cedric will be heading up. Because that is separate from the game and we can redo it.
awesome.
He just has to learn how to do my max though to do it. But he
On
got
it,
this.
bro.
He's got
Get
this.
On
He's
it,
got this,
bro. I
man.
can come up with so much stuff if you can learn that.
He's gonna be charging her gun.
Do I want to open that door?
Yes, because then we can make Tidus do whatever.
Tidus
we
has
want.
Yes!
animations.
Yeah,
We
But-
just aren't using half of them.
but you can make him suck his thumb and roll on the floor. We can
Yeah.
add that animation without Jared knowing.
Oh, man. The Tidus hate over in this corner.
Hey, I wasn't hating. He got destroyed today.
Crow.
Yeah, that's it for me on animation. Ren is her limbs are all separated. Just further and further into empty space.
Did you just put her in like a torture chamber
Oh,
thing?
she'll
and-
try to run and she'll be like,
Drawn and quartered.
and then her limb will just stretch. It'll continue to stretch no matter what. So bad issue.
How does that even happen?
Some sort of math that I messed up trying to be a rigger.
Wait, you can't adjust the rig. Don't do that.
What?
Well, you
He
gotta try to
doesn't
get
like
those
it.
limb scaling and all that good stuff. No rigger likes that most of the time. That's what I'm here for. To make them easier and break.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have fun talking with our rigger on the next few characters. Cannot wait.
John, do you have anything on the development front in terms of like movesets, or did you want to cover about our programmer?
Well, in terms of movesets, Crow is set. He's done. Cedric and I met together on future characters' movesets, so we know exactly what we want them to do. So you don't have these animations that feel like they're from two different characters. Because sometimes we have that where like Rin will have this really heavy-looking attack, and then her other attacks look dainty, and she's like, are they're supposed to be for the same character? So that's definitely something. And since we've been interviewing new programmers, we have some pretty good prospects right now that I'm pretty stoked for.
We will have new updates to you guys very soon,
And that program is going to just have
including
hundreds.
last week's inclusion.
Right on.
Once we deactivate, because he's still activated. Yeah, I can't post this on Steam just yet, but I'm waiting for the moment. I have it all typed up.
I had it all picked up.
You started it, and I was like, yeah, let's just. Any feedback, Jose, for it? I don't know. Yeah.
How have you been doing on the music?
So far I just been getting acclimated with all the aspects of the game. It's my first game, so I'm very excited, and everything seems good as far as I mean. You guys gave me all the files that I asked for and everything. Couldn't be any greater right now.
Well,
Yeah.
you're getting the game built.
Yeah, the game is on its way. I'm working on the soundtrack for the Sovereign, and it's coming out pretty good.
And I'll have to get with you to record some better sounding vocals
Yes,
for
absolutely.
Tidus and for the narrator.
No, not for Tita. We love him.
Yeah, but they're
Narrator.
too quiet.
Narrator.
Tidus is like,
Narrator.
and you're like, what was that, bro? Speak up.
That's Imperium City. It's got like this really cool like what is that like
I can't
Blade
hear
Runner?
that.
It has this really cool Blade Runner feel, but you can't hear it. It's just in the background.
Let me know when you guys want to do robot narrator.
Oh.
It's
That
still
was
fun talk.
So yeah, but and we want to make the game feel more lively. So the narrator is gonna be a bit more upbeat, guys, because we've heard that he sounds like a figure from religious faith that is not in a good light. So anyways, on that, we're gonna make him a bit more fun.
Or a robot.
Don't do it.
One day,
No,
coming to a PlayStation near you.
Ooh.
no, he'll be our tutorial.
Yeah, he's like a narrator.
He won't be the
I'm
narrator.
not gonna let that die. I'm gonna keep bringing it up slowly to where people
Well,
start asking.
wait, where's
they're
the
like,
fucking-
what was that guy with the mohawk talking about? And I'm be like, you want to know?
Mohawk and ponytail.
And I'm be like, look, this is what Imagination Bit should do. And they're like, we agree. Boom. Can't stop me at that point. Weapons free at that point. It's over. I got a plan for this.
The narrator and the robot arguing.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be
All right, guys,
guys don't
let's
even-
get going. Shut up.
just so like moonwalk like right off the stage. Dude, I'm telling you, people will love it. Eventually.
Moving on to our second point of the night. We're thrilled to share the news of our epic new Imagination Net team member, Jose, who is going to be leading the audio department. An optimization of the PlayStation 4 version, which is currently underway, and we're actually going to be working on it actively tonight as soon as we wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to get it running on a superior console.
Yes.
Well, I don't
That's
want
exciting. I think it's pretty exciting.
I shouldn't probably say superior.
Oh.
I think streamlined is probably the word I should use because some people have really intense rigs.
User friendly.
Yeah.
I have like an intense rig.
It's like someone's like,
I don't
yeah,
game
I
with
have
it."
64 gigs of RAM.
Right here.
What?
Boom! I'm just kidding, I have 32, but I'm almost there.
It can handle India saw in 60 frames.
I can dude, it's like 98.
It's like-
6 core i7.
Whenever when we hit like 400 frames on India Assault, that was
That 58 20K. Okay.
oh my god.
Can
It's
you
a
run
rig.
India saw in 4K?
Well, I have two 970s, so I don't even have a 4K monitor.
Okay.
It doesn't even do 1440p really.
Okay.
But let's try it.
I'm down.
It's just
Because
like my computer's melting.
Sony was interested in the possibility of including it as a feature.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
India Assault VR too.
Just like,
No.
you're
I
like
would do
first
4K.
person in a side scroll, and you're like, whoa.
No, your face is the camera. Whoa!
Oh my goodness. Where's my character?
But I'm excited if we could get Jose to work with the game. If we could get the Dolby DTS, I think that would be sick. Because everyone's gonna be playing our game on a home theater by far.
Hopefully.
Dude, I can't wait for when we
I'm
hear
trying to
that.
run it on my big box TV and it's not working.
It's not like Millie can't hook it up with the red, white, and yellow. What?
Why doesn't this run on my GameCube emulator?
It's like, how'd you get a PS4, bro?
It's like, so I burned in the Assault to a PS2 disc. And I'm trying to put it in my PS1. Why doesn't my Commodore support this?
All of a sudden it starts working. Dude. All right.
Those graphics. Third point of the night: Metal Gear Solid V discussion. How do we see AAA games like this moving forward? What can they do to diversify themselves from just being a sequel with prettier graphics?
Well, I feel like a lot of people are just like copying well-known formulas. Like Assassin's Creed came up with their when they first came out, it's like you climb the towers, you mark your targets, and now every game's doing that. Far Cry, Shadow of Mordor. It's just like, okay, yeah, not every game has to be Assassin's Creed.
But
Oh, it just like turned off on us. Like I don't want to record you guys anymore. Not enough space on my SD card. Damn it!
We still got the audio though.
Yeah.
We still got the audio. You're gonna have to get yourself an actual camera, Jared.
we'll just upload like the first part of the video, and then we're like,
And then
And now it goes to the
back to the
podcast.
podcast. How did you guys like that sample? Did you like the beginning half or the last half of the podcast? Let us know in the comment section right below. Oh, no more video. Just kidding.
rate us who you think is the cutest.
Oh.
We're going to host be on Dream Team.
I'm
Oh
afraid
my
of-
god.
I'm afraid to get a 4. Take me out of the.
I'm
take me
getting
out
a
of the
10. I was
contest.
driving a guy around on Lyft. He was like, man, you're the best person I've ever seen. I was like, yeah.
Well, I hope that guy checks out the podcast.
Hopefully. He was kind of drunk that night, so I don't know if I remember.
Okay, just remind them when you listen. I was gonna say we should pick him up next time, but I don't know how it works. I have no idea.
Ah.
I have no idea. Is
You
it
can actually
recording?
ask for them if they're nearby.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I guess they find their
What's your
dedicated
home address?
person, like their
Yeah.
dedicated cab, I guess.
Yeah, you like rate them and shit. So, like,
Okay, and then you keep them.
That.
Oops.
ooh.
Okay, so what were we talking about?
We were talking about Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, and
Oh, and it being freaking same nonsense. Oh, it's open world. I don't care. All right,
But I like
be
the open
yourself.
world.
I do too, but I don't think every single game has to follow Assassin's Creed's formula. Because like remember when everyone was following Call of Duty's formula? It's like even Wolfenstein became Call of Duty, and you're like, what? Why?
Well, what I think is going to happen is, and we kind of see this with Metal Gear Solid 5, Kojima has been like lifelong on that product. He's only worked probably 2 different IPs, and Metal Gear Solid
Castlevania.
5 is one. I don't think he did.
No, he did.
Castlevania.
He did the Lower to Shadow.
That doesn't count.
No.
Well, like he's been working on this like his entire life, and now he's just like, essentially we don't know, but it sounds like he's just done. So what I think it's going to be, I think more people are going to focus on kind of like the indie scene, doing their own ideas, and it's going to see like a little refresh. So instead of seeing all of the big AAAs sell more money, you're going to see more indies get popular and take the limelight, and then all of a sudden you'll see like a reshift, and then the AAA companies will start doing what indie stuff is doing, and then it's going to like keep bouncing back because essentially it's, I mean, money still drives.
Well, I mean, like, if you look at it, a lot of the big devs from back in the day have started doing their own projects. Keiji Inafune and Mighty Number 9. The producer Castlevania, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. Rare, all those guys are doing ukulele.
It's resetting, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, I don't need a publisher telling me what to do anymore.
I wonder what Kojima's going to do next, though. Because I don't think he's...
He'll probably do...
But they make it seem like he's not tied to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, they took his
Like,
name
what
off.
are they going to do? Like,
Oh no, they're probably gonna make a really, really bad Metal Gear Solid, and all the fans are gonna hate it. It's like
they'll
some.
probably make Metal Gear Rising like.
Well,
2.
see, they're gonna do.
It wasn't bad though.
They're gonna do.
Well, that was a different developer. That's
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, exactly. I think
You can tell.
What I think is they're either gonna do one of two things. Either they're gonna try to do a Metal
Hey, we're not
Gear.
recording.
Either they're gonna do a Metal Gear that is completely their own, or they're gonna try to do a Metal Gear that's exactly like what Kojima did. So either way, they're.
I don't think they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be like, bounce out. Oh, you think you're gonna fire me? I'm taking Metal Gear Solid with me.
He
And I was
doesn't
like,
own.
oh god.
He doesn't own the IP though.
Dude, with how many times I saw his name in that game, he owns something.
He
Well,
is the
He
game.
owns it. I was about to say. I'm pretty
Well,
sure.
If he's involved, pretty much his name pops up on it. Even like because his
Every
studio.
chapter in that game has his name 3 times. Like it's like.
I love him, Peace Walker.
Yeah, it's like Kojima. Then you get to the end, it's
Well-
like Kojima.
Well, like with Sonic, Yuji Naka's name was everywhere for even in his last game, where the characters were even calling out his name like Mr. Naka. It's all right. I mean, they did that in Kojima appeared in Peace Walker as a character you could unlock.
He's in Metal Gear
We
Solid 5
get
as
that,
well.
guys. Going back to like diversity, so
Yeah.
not being as open, open world because I do feel a lot. My game on buying the end of this month, Darksiders 2 is open world.
Everything's open world now. Where's our open world Mario game where Mario has like a Nathan Drake scarf and
That is
coming.
pretty cool.
okay, let's go.
Sorry.
Where's that?
It's like Mario Galaxy, but he goes
Nintendo, get on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he has the counter gameplay where he's like cracking Koopa's arms.
Well, I'm just
Oh.
saying, I think it will. I think it will
Let's go.
spawn like, more diversity. Though. I mean,
But-
I think that's the key. Is that indie's going to be
Okay.
like diversity's
that.
going to shoot out.
Yeah.
Great. Let's go on to the second part of that topic. Do we see new genres emerging, coming to life available to current gen platforms like the hero shooter, which Gearbox labels as a subgenre of MOBA? How does the panel see this title or different similar titles moving forward?
Well, look at Until Dawn. That's interactive storytelling mixed with survival horror and choice-based gameplay. So I think it's going to be fusions of genres that we're going to see more now.
I think it's just different names for the same type of game.
Well, like
Because Heavy Rain, I mean, Heavy Rain wasn't super horror, but it was definitely
Just bad for
It
sure.
was
yeah.
dark.
So there is a little bit of survivor in there, but
Yeah.
or survival for certain characters. But I think it's like a reskin
Several
of the
characters.
genre name, but not necessarily a new genre.
Well-
Unless virtual reality.
well, like
I do feel with virtual reality that could create new genre.
yeah,
Just
but
because
think everything has RPG elements now. Freaking everything. I picked up Corpse Party, which was a survival horror game back on PSP, and they released a new one. It's like, oh, you can restore your health and stamina. I'm like, what?
We'll have a. Oh, it's already. Trying to think of something that an RPG element hasn't been introduced into, but yeah, I mean, again, I
It's
think it's
even
going
in
to be a
racing
combination
games
of
now.
things.
You know, it's like, oh, you leveled up your racer. I'm like, guys, it's a racing game. What? Am I going to unlock like Meteor? Because that would be Final Fantasy Racing.
That's not bad though. I do have to admit that Ubisoft's take on
The
club,
crew.
the crew was very successful. I mean, like,
Yeah, it was a cool game. Way better than Drive Club.
yes,
Shots fired.
I heard both didn't really sell that well, but I got Drive Club, not the Crew.
Yes.
Regret it?
No, I bought the first. Actually, no. I mean, it's a beautiful game. I mean, as far as
Evolution Studios, even
it's
most of
beautiful.
them was beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, those cars
that's the
shattered
reason
in
why I got it. Essentially, I was like, oh, that's a beautiful R8. That was the main reason.
Forza looks better.
Yeah, I wanted because we were talking about this earlier, but I wanted open world
Bless you.
for Drive Club
Yeah, see, that would be
for a
cool.
racing game, and they didn't do it, and I was like,
Well, you should
and it
have
took
Need for
forever
Speed.
too.
Wasn't that
Yeah.
open
I
world?
like the arcade race.
The new Need for Speed, I'm kind of excited about. I wonder how it'll be. More
Right.
like underground.
Yeah, or where they're mixing in different ideas, like Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, long ass title, but not only did it have driving, but it had boats and planes, so it was all three in the same race, which that was a lot of fun. It was when I first started playing, it was really hard getting into the flow of the controls, but once I did, that was just amazing. So I'm thinking it's definitely going to be genre fusion, as long as we have proper genre fusion. Like, yeah, so I have a hack and slash rhythm game. You're like,
They could work.
it could, but it would be weird.
You're playing like rock band drums. It's like punch, punch.
They got the
punch.
Rayman thing. I mean, kind
It
of
could
like
work.
just like synced to the beat. And
Yeah.
I don't know if like, because I feel like Borderlands was such a good blending of the genres, like
Oh.
RPG and
First person shooter
yeah.
and open world.
Like, cause I feel like that because to me, Assassin's Creed was an extension of Prince of Persia. It was building up like over time, like what can we do more to like evolve the series.
Yeah.
And then like the director was like, what about this open world game with like, you know, character style character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is pretty. It is pretty. I never really connected.
yeah,
I never really
it's
thought
actually
about it.
just clicked right in.
Yeah.
Well, like, look at Watch Dogs, because Watch Dogs is essentially sci-fi Assassin's Creed. Well, modern day
Okay.
Assassin's Creed. I mean, I liked the game. I hated the story, but I liked the game.
There's a huge blend. I mean, even AAA comes in now. Like the Division is a big blend in sort of an online open world environment with RPG elements in a third person shooter.
I'm actually quite excited. The part I liked was being able to shoot your teammates. And, like,
Oh, that was messed up, dude.
That
That
was-
scared me.
I was like, whoa.
Because it's like mutiny. You're like, oh,
Oh.
yay, we did it, and then, why are you shooting? I'm dead. You know, that scares me deep, man.
Well, like, it should be like Metal Gear, though.
All
You know,
that work.
remember in Metal Gear how in the older ones you can like hold someone up?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
like you just like
You're
it's
like, please don't kill me.
you feel like this vibration, like, and it's like you look back and it's like, oh shit. Like,
Oh, man. It's like, please don't shoot. Oh, I'm dead.
yeah.
But it is interesting. When I saw it, I was like, oh, no. Everyone is going to, like, everyone in a team is going to kill each other at the very end.
Oh yeah.
Or remember when every game decided it needed quick time events? Like
Oh, yeah.
every
Oh, yeah.
freaking game.
I would say every action game. But
That was like Kingdom
Right.
Hearts 2, God of War.
God of War, Uncharted, like right when those two were like, Tomb Raider's gonna have news feed.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they service the plot, but what I really hated is it removed the final boss aspect of the game. Because a lot of games, final bosses nowadays either are the same kind of guy you fought before, but just more of them, or slightly tougher, or it's a cutscene. Like Tomb Raider, I loved the game. The only complaint I ever could really put is the climax, because it's just a quick time event.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Two guns.
Yeah,
I could have not
like,
said that and avoided the spoiler.
yeah, but like,
Dang.
I mean, when I
well, like
come from the age of Sega Genesis, where you get to the end, you fight this giant robot, evil head monster thing,
No.
I don't care. I want
Gunstar Heroes.
Oh, dude.
Like in that, like the last level was all the bosses over. I was like, what? Come on!
Well,
Every
Mega Man, dude.
single.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Well,
you like Mega Man, but before your
but-
last boss.
Yeah, because Mega Man, it's always like a 3-phase Dr. Wily, especially Mega Man 2, where he just randomly turns into an
You
alien.
guys play Mega Man X though? Oh my gosh, those final.
Sigma?
Oh yeah, you have to beat them all.
You're like, bro, Sigma, could you
Oh,
please
Sigma.
stop spamming that dumb
Dude,
purple
I
ball?
swear to God.
So yeah, I like a real final boss.
Yeah.
And most of the like AAA games, since
Bloodborne.
they are so grounded in reality nowadays, they can't really deliver on a final boss.
Well,
But-
but then you might get an Uncharted, where Uncharted is like heavily, somewhat realistic. Not, I mean, what he does isn't realistic, and how he survives essentially sometimes. But then you get to the end, and they kind of put like a supernatural element into it, and
Yeah.
then it's actually not supernatural, but you get the like, I call it the Lazarevich effect, where it's like he's a hyped up super,
Yeah.
like he eats that blue stuff.
Break!
Yeah, and then you're like, what happened? And it's like, I
Well-
think it's a balance. It all depends on the game.
Well, like Last of Us, they could have had this giant monster thing that we fought.
No, Last of Us was perfect. Don't you dare. Don't you dare say that there should have been some giant monster. That was
All right, guys. To wrap up
Emotional.
that topic.
The Last of Us.
God, I want to play it now.
Oh my
How
god.
is Any other closing thoughts? So you think just blending a genre is impossible VR?
Yeah, because like one of my favorite games, Danganronpa, is getting VR, and I'm like, I could see how that would enhance the gameplay. Some games I can't see how it would. It's like survival horror, first-person shooter, visual novel. That's all I want it for.
Wrapping up that topic, I think if VR does rail shooters, I will play that.
Oh yeah,
That
House
would be
House of the Dead should be one of the first.
That would be awesome.
The House of the Dead.
Ooh.
Overkill.
I'll remember that guy.
Because I could totally see, like, I know Oculus has two, like, wrist things.
I mean, Sega would have a field day if they could do that.
It's not like music. Excuse me, helicopter.
All right, guys, number four topic of the night. With the huge news from Warner Brothers publishing that Mortal Kombat X has sold out over 5 million copies, how does the team feel about fighting game expansion moving forward?
I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, and then with the hype that Street Fighter 5 has, it's not even. I mean, they're just like doing the trickle effect with the characters, and people are already like following it, talking about it a lot. So
Yeah, I mean, fighting games are bigger than ever now with the online community that we have because everyone wants to be the best. They like to see that leaderboard. They like to play and test their abilities. And Cedric,
as soon as I go online, and then that one guy destroys me, and I'm like, yo, dude, I didn't even get a hit out, and I'm like, I'm done.
well, FPS,
Unless it's Super Smash.
yeah, FPS and fighters, those are the two that you can be the most competitive with. Because a racing game, it's easy to blame something else, or there's other factors. But when it comes to fighting, usually it's just two people, or up to four if it's Smash Bros. But usually it's two people.
Like an Indie Assault?
Yeah, or Indie Assault, or PlayStation All Stars if you really want to get technical. But
no, that's not.
but anyways, having two people going up against each other, there's no room for, oh, I lost because of this. It's you versus someone else. No distractions, nothing else.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I think that what for things like Team Liquid or Team Astro is working on with like the Evo veterans are making their own fighting game, and I feel like their fighting game emphasis is on mechanics. All characters can have like swap out kind of styles like the Mii fighters, and you can like do like special combos. But the most important thing for them is lagless online multiplayer, and I think like because they're trying to get that experience universally, and I think right now with everyone's bandwidth, so high and everything, I mean, right now is like the time. I mean, I don't know the latency with like share player in that, but definitely, I mean,
It's a huge variable. Like lagless, and complete. That's a huge variable.
I mean, we'll see, but I mean, the future's easily turning towards it. I mean,
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're always gonna have those people that lag
Stutter.
behind but still want to be the
Yes.
part of the experience. But I mean, it's hard for them to kind of promise lagless for people.
I mean,
Well, playing Borderlands with my buddy, like we we didn't really notice anything, and he has crap internet. And we were both in the same house on two PS3s on the internet, and playing like there was one time where we were doing it online. We had phones because we were too cheap to buy headsets. So, but
I did that with the PS3.
I've done
yeah.
Waste
Yeah.
of time. I'm sorry. I was like, which time did that?
But yeah, but
I was like, getting this Christmas.
I didn't. Yeah, the only game where I ever felt any lag and it was annoying was Super Smash Bros. Brawl on Wii, where you would get it every once in a while, and it took forever for a match to connect. You're like,
Halo 2. You're just like, what's going on right now?
it's like, okay, I'm gonna start on my
shot
match.
you in the
I'm
head.
gonna go use the bathroom. I'm gonna make a sandwich. Maybe I'll do my taxes. I don't know, but I got plenty of time to wait. And then you just find that one guy who goes to the Hyrule Temple, plays Zelda, then fire.
I actually still get lag in Destiny. I mean, I have 100
Because it's
megabits per
garbage.
second.
It's really nicely dressed up garbage. It's like a turd
I don't
in
think
a
so.
box. A
It's
nicely wrapped box, and you're like, oh, this is all it is.
that game's
You're leaving the fighting game
Yeah, well, it sucks.
now. We get that. Jose, any feedback on the way that you see fighting games moving in the future?
Well, like they said before, yeah, I have noticed that everyone has been overhyped on Street Fighter, and I mean, I hear every day that, oh, this new character was announced, and here's their moveset, and here's what they look like. And it's really refreshing seeing how everybody's reacting to fighting games, because, I mean, I never was really good at them. But, I mean, just looking at the people in the communities, it's really, really getting me into, like, that zone
Tuned up.
of video games.
Yeah. Well, like,
That's really big.
with fighting games, they're the easiest ones to continuously support. Because like Mario, you can always add a couple new levels, but who eventually, like, you'll eventually teeter off from it. But like Smash Bros. Or Street Fighter, as soon as they announce a new character, I want it.
Oh,
I want to play it. I want to learn
I
it.
would say he's pretty adamant about that. But to me, was Dead or Alive 5. Oh my gosh, the game's like 2-3 years old now, and it's like, oh, more DLC, paid DLC, and just like you're like, well, that's 2-3 years old. And I mean, look at like most of the prominent, like the guy in the house, Super Street Fighter. There's like this Ultimate Remix, this revision, this,
Well,
I mean,
even some games by themselves, like the longevity of a fighting game lasts a lot longer than almost any other genre, in my opinion. Like you can go back and play like old FPSs with friends, but you can plug in Street Fighter like Third Strike. There is no match. Like there's no Street Fighter game like that one. But people still play it. In my opinion, it's the most fun. That game is how old now?
well, look
Like,
at Skullgirls.
Super old.
Skullgirls is on. It's like they just announced second encore.
Yeah.
Second encore for
Yeah.
PS4 and Xbox. And I just think PS4.
It's a fun game though.
Yeah, it's a
For
real
fighting. What's her name? Miss Fortune? That's my girl.
Philia all the way, voiced by my girl Christina V.
They have very, very long lives though. It's
Yeah.
amazing, especially if you can build your community. It's just gonna they'll run with it, take it high places.
And we're in the perfect position since there's new indies coming out every single day. I mean, if you
This
load
is
up,
the perfect time actually.
yeah, you load up Silicon, like your news site, like you go to
Battle
Silicon
Chasers,
Hero.
we want to hear.
Yes, Battle Chasers, please call us. But like I've spoken with devs, and there's so many cool games coming out, and it's we are great marketing for them if they want.
And we should talk about like 2 or 3 of the most prominent roles of our shows. Like, oh yeah, we actually want our character in. Can you give us like a year, 12 months? So like we're like, well, what? They're like, oh, because we're gonna be changing and possibly like re-altering the characters list. Because we're gonna possibly get like a Street Shark, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sorry
the
about
character looks really cool. I really want them.
Yeah, they're just like, we might redo his entire design. So like, don't put him in your game now. Like, definitely,
It's like, thank you. So that's happened to us before, where designs were changed on 2 of our characters. That's why 2 characters, like Rin.
She's sexy now.
Yeah, we following, but like with Spade, we went with the second iteration artwork that Stefan did. Because I was looking at like through all of our old dead docs.
7 revisions. 7 revisions.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand. And I mean, like, when you're making an asset, it's not like, oh, I can just like swap this out. It's like, that's time and money.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he's rigged and animated. So as soon as if we want to change, like move his hair to the side, everything just falls apart. We have to completely reanimate it. So it's that, and what the artwork that we went off of, we didn't realize was older artwork. So it's things like that.
All right, to wrap up that topic, let's head to the number 5. How does the panel feel about esports team creating their own union to get better treatment and representation from within the industry?
I'm gonna read that right after you just said it.
How does everyone feel about esports? Some of the biggest teams like Team Liquid, as we know, and some of the biggest Call of Duty and fighting game teams are now getting together and have formed a formal union. Are we
It's
excited?
interesting. I don't know how it really. I mean, it doesn't really.
Well, I
It
mean,
kind of applies to us as developers, but
basically, I mean, they
I
can,
think it's really good. I'm a little bit nervous that it was organized by more like the people inside it. I don't know. I just feel like they're like, oh, okay, there's extra money being funded, but like, I don't know. I feel like they need to get their managers like on point, like go seek out the funding and let them know to come to the union instead of just like, oh, this email got leaked. Like, I feel like it's kind of like the Uber van. Like, Uber drivers got, leaked. Like, it should have been more of like, oh, this is awesome. Like, blow up social media with it. That's how I feel. How do you guys think?
I mean,
Because they should get. Oh, I have to say this. They are athletes. They are.
yes.
They train just as hard as real athletes. And some of those comments on the biggest gaming networks, well, they should get a real job. That is their job.
Yeah,
They work to
Well,
get good at that game.
it's like saying a football player should get a real job. I mean, do you know how many hours of sleep that they lose? How they have to learn character frame by frame by
well,
frame.
yeah. Well, I mean, so in their defense, it's a change of a culture. Like the whole culture has to change
Yeah.
in order to that. You can't tell people that grew up, like on a farm to eat that playing video games is a real job. You cannot tell them
Yeah.
that. So you have
Yeah.
to wait until the people in our generation and the people before us accept it, and then convince older generations. There is no way that you can convince them that that is a real job.
Well,
Like I'm saying, like coming from
Yeah.
like 60s.
A 30 or 40-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, I'd say just like let it happen because there's no point in arguing essentially that point because it's a mute point essentially.
yeah.
But
I
I
don't
think
wanna-
it is. I think it is.
I mean, they should definitely have
It's a
that
different
option.
type of athlete. I think it is an athlete though. But I mean, I wouldn't categorize it in the same way as like.
But they
Football
deserve
player.
pay, and like you shouldn't be like, oh, just
Well, you
because
deserve
you're
pay, yeah.
yeah, because they're
Yeah.
saying like, oh, like you shouldn't play video games and get like paid for it, but that's their job. Like that's how League of Legends boasts their numbers. That's how Dota 2 championships goes to Madison Square Garden because people care about it because there's the eyeballs watching it. We can't just negate that.
Yeah, because if you really think about it, people want to see it. I mean, when you look at like, if you watch a YouTuber a lot, like I watch a ton of Team 4-Star, Brentalfloss, they have monetized videos. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah.
They
But how new is that living?
Yeah, true.
That's the argument right there.
But it's to me, it's still part of entertainment. It's just a natural evolution of like reality TV.
Yeah, and people have to accept that. I mean, I've seen like a ton of people. You know about the chip, the EVM or EMV for the credit cards now.
Yeah.
People have no idea what to use that for, and that's the only way you can pay with your card. So it's going to be a slow change. People have to get
Interesting.
used to it. You gotta get even that.
Yeah,
People have to just get used to it. I mean, I think it's definitely it's different. It's essentially all I can say about it. It's a different type of
yeah,
sport.
it's very different than like.
I mean, I think it's gonna be an interesting shift, but I mean, I think it's good for the industry.
All right, let's wrap up as a panel. How do you guys feel like compared to the strict for the saga? You know what we talked about a couple weeks ago with the voice actors. I feel this carries a little bit more weight. How do you guys?
Yeah, because the thing is, this is something you can really argue. Like, with having that union option is good for them, especially since with the industry, it's very easy to be taken advantage of. Like, being told, oh, hey, by the way, we know we invited you out, but you need to pay for your plane ticket and we'll reimburse you. And then them getting like, oh, we never said that. Stuff like that. You know, it can totally happen. I doubt like the guys at Evo would do that, but it's always a possibility, and they definitely have to have someone looking out for them. with voice actors, they already have managers or they already have someone looking out for them. And I'm not going to say that they don't deserve it, but it definitely depends on like what they're doing, because it's with this, since it's such a new venture, there people are going to get taken advantage of. That is going to happen, and they need to be prepared for that because so they can get retribution for it.
You guys have feedback, Cedric? Maybe? I'm going to close out the topic with saying my feelings on the topic. I feel it's just as much a sport. I feel like if they go and they show up, and as we all know, that San Diego Chargers recently played a football game out here in San Diego. They lost, but they still got paid to show up and attend and play football. I feel like just because that the unions enabling them to get paid even if they don't win their competition, I feel that's fair. I mean, you might not, but you're still professionally playing in the activity,
Yeah.
and you're flying miles and you're coming all the way there. That you should be, represented and financially compensated for that. I feel that is very fair.
Especially since that is a dangerous job. You can snap your back, you can blow out your knee. You could end up a paraplegic.
You could die.
Yeah, you could die, or you could just start dogfighting, but that's another thing altogether.
It's another podcast.
Coming soon, Michael Vick and Indian Salt.
I'm not a witness. I'm not a witness.
That's his trophy right there.
I'm sorry, Michael Vick.
What, you're afraid he's going to put your head in a bucket of water?
I'm not a witness. He's not going to put me in anything. He's going to get you guys.
Like,
we're not in the elevator.
Wait, what voice is that? I have a couple of seconds of video.
I'm always talking crap.
It's like, Michael Vick, this is your guy. Imagination Vent could use the publicity. Just don't kill him. Let him off easy, please.
Do we feel
fired babies, but it ain't working.
Do we feel more Kickstarters recently being canceled or being placed indefinitely can be related to poor management, budgeting, too high promises for their funding goal, or misdirection after working on the project full time?
Well, I've noticed a lot of them are getting canceled because they're getting picked up by publishers, which is excellent. Like, what was it? Cross Revere. I really thought that game looked cool. I was like, oh, I'll probably go and pledge this. I go to do it, and it's canceled. And I'm like, what the? So I go and look on their Facebook, and it's like, oh yeah, we got picked up by a publisher. But for those of them that are just canceling because of lack of funding, or lack of interest, that's the big ones I'm seeing. Because like FNAF, they tried kickstarting. Scott tried kickstarting. Do you know how much he raised? Zip. So he canceled it like halfway through. He raised absolutely nothing for the first FNAF.
It's interesting.
Well,
Kickstarter's interesting.
I'm thinking more of like along the lines of like there's been a lot of like big games and also a couple rumors surrounding Star Citizen. But as we all know, is a huge Kickstarter game that has its budget gone off. Like, gone off, like where it's like overspending or, it's not in terms of like quality expectations. Almost kind of like how Battlecry from Bethesda Studios here in the States is going to be shuttering Battlecry because it's not meeting expectations. Like, is that fair though to Kickstarter, to backers, to be like, oh, the game's not meeting expectations? You're like, what kind of expectations? Was it like, were you guys like just blowing money? Like, what exactly?
Well, like that one game that got canceled that was going to be episodic, that you showed me, because they
Republic?
Huh?
Republic?
No, the one where they couldn't like ship out their Kickstarter physical stuff because
That was the Little Red Riding Hood game.
yeah.
I think it's interesting. Like, Kickstarter is, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome avenue, but it seems like half of the time, even if it's people with experience, they get this huge revenue if they're successful, if they're, if they publish themselves, right? If they push themselves, they get this huge amount of money that people are handing with pretty much no strings attached, but like, I'm going to get this little thing.
Finish this game.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what they want. So it's like, finish this game and give it to me.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They get this huge amount of money, but I think because there is no publisher, there's no like, I don't want to use like a company name, but there's no one right behind them that's pushing their That'd be awesome. There's no one like pushing them to tighten what they have. Like there's no budget. Like they have a budget of a huge amount of money, but half of the time they don't need that.
Yeah.
They need 50,000. They get 3 million, and then they're like, "Ooh, we have a lot of money." So it's like I think they're starting to lose focus, and they don't have that big publisher that's saying, "We need this to be shown in 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, like you have no choice, or else you lose it. Like that doesn't exist anymore with Kickstarter. So I think it's creating like this flow to where people slip past their target, but there's no big guy behind them. So they're like, "Don't worry, we'll release the demo for you." Oh, don't worry, we're going to still release that demo for you, and it keeps going.
Mighty
And
number
then,
9.
yeah, it's like I think that's really happening because there's no big guy behind them. I don't know how you get past that. I mean, Kickstarter is essentially avoiding the big guy.
Yeah,
So it's
which
like-
it has, but that also does have Kickstarter has its place because there's a lot of games out there that wouldn't be made without Kickstarter. Because like Ukulele, Bloodstained, those two have never been made.
Well, but I'm gonna reserve my judgment until I actually see the game because I remember the Double Fine game that released on Kickstarter. Played that and I was like, yeah. I was
Which
okay.
one?
It was the Cave. I believe.
Broken Age.
Oh.
Well, I think it was the Cave was actually the one that was Kickstarter.
No, Broken Age.
Broken Age was their newest.
Yeah.
The Cave was the one with like the story of like 8 people.
Yeah,
It was
that
on
game was
PS4.
okay.
And yeah, it was okay.
I had it on Wii U. I got about halfway through and quit.
Yeah, I mean, I got like an 8. But I mean, it's same thing. Like, I don't just because it looks promising, I'm not gonna pass judgment that it's gonna be amazing. Like, you know, because we never know what'll happen to Bloodstained. Like, what happens?
It looks.
If they.
To me, it just looks like Symphony of the Night, and that excites me.
Yeah, but what if they never make it? Like, you don't
I
know.
don't know. Like I'm just worried. Like I feel like it's very serious because like with like Star Citizen on track, like there's been a couple other numerous projects that are big.
Star Citizen needs to
I
stick
heard
with
a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance or a similar game of high expectations. It was like asked for like 250,000 maybe $1,000 million, and it's going off track to the point of it might not be releasing.
Yeah.
And this is from a legendary like guy from like Japan, a legendary designer. He's just like, yeah, the game we just kind of over budgeted and we didn't properly set up everything, and we're just gonna be putting out hold. Like, I don't know.
See, that's
that's
gonna
not fair.
that's gonna taint the whole idea of Kickstarter, especially if like Star Citizen. Oh man, if they don't pull through for that, and it's not like super amazing with all the money they have, do you think people are really gonna put like once you start seeing that it's hit their goal, you think people are gonna be like, let me just put in another 1,000. This looks so awesome. Like if Star Citizen can pull through.
Yeah.
It's like people are gonna start to wonder what are they doing with the money? Why isn't the delivery what it should be essentially?
So far, I've only like put money towards one game, and I still haven't gotten it.
Bloodstained.
No. No. It was
Good guess, bro.
It was Exogenesis: Perils of Rebirth.
A visual novel.
You might as well just look at it as a donation. That's because I donated for 2 games, and I was like, it's a donation. I don't know if I'll ever see this thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how can you get like 13 million off of a donation? It's just like people are like, here you
What
go.
about
Here's
that-
$20.
Well, what about that guy who like wanted to make I think it was like grilled cheese or
Potato salad. I
potato
think.
salad.
Well, they are getting more serious though. The guy up in Washington that did a trading card game that he only asked for 5,000, did 780,000. He never delivered the game, and now he's under lawsuit from the state and also from all the backers because he didn't deliver the product.
How do you not deliver the product when you only asked for $5,000? Or there's also now Indiegogo, which is another crowdfunding.
Well, that's what we're talking about because there's Fig, and there's also Game Connection Central.
Because
And Fig and Game Connection Central are only video games, but Indiegogo and Kickstarter obviously do everything.
yeah, because I mean, I really want Ben's Fighting Herds to get made.
They need to just like hire like a track.
Yeah.
I have no
Just
idea
have
what to do.
like Kickstarter just needs to have those guys like, hey, what's up? Hey,
No, you shouldn't be part of it because they wouldn't know.
what you doing?
They
No,
wouldn't
I don't
know.
think that's fair because
I think it should be someone that they decide to pay, like for their own company.
Yeah.
With the money they've earned, because I don't think a Kickstarter would be like, I don't see how this artist is important. Like I don't know what kind of emotional connection you have to this guy, but we're not gonna let you do him. We're gonna have this guy because I know he can work. It's like you don't want to bring in like the business guy into game development if it's gonna be still say Kickstarter.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. Unfortunately, we didn't have the video for the entire thing. Hopefully next week we'll have that. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Be sure to subscribe right here to our channel. Follow us on Twitter at ImaginationNet and like ImaginationNet INC on Facebook. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Hopefully you've enjoyed the perils and luxuries of imagination.
Goodbye.
Right.
Love.
Good love.
Mic drop. Boom.
All right, mic's off, so let's talk drugs.
All right. Who's got the eighth?